I'm Jason Miller. I'm a CPA, and today I'm going to rant about capitalism and socialism. Okay, so we need to, as a country, stop voting against our interests. We do it. The middle class has so many more votes, and just because you may despise wokeness, that is not a reason to vote against your interest. Okay, like you don't have to listen to the billionaires and the money they inject into our elections so that you can feel better about yourself or hate immigrants. Like, this is your stupid reasons. You're making yourself poorer just to hate immigrants. Like, shut up, dude. Do a little bit of research. Okay, well, let's go over it. So capitalism is an economic system where private individuals or businesses own the means of production and operate them for profit. So, if you're just an employee, like 90% of America, you're not a capitalist. You're just an employee, all right? Jason, I got a 401k. Hey, congratulations, you got 30,000 saved in a 401k. That doesn't make you a capitalist, okay? You have to own the means of production and operate them for a profit to be a capitalist. Otherwise, you're just an employee. So why are you tied to this system that doesn't even benefit you? Okay, so let's look at socialism, okay? Socialism is a political and economic theory advocating for collective or governmental ownership of the means of production. So collective ownership. The means of production, like factory and resources, are owned or controlled by the community, government, or the public as a whole, rather than by private individuals. So, you see how all of these words, none of them mention profit, 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 none of it. It's just, we control electrical cost, gas cost, food cost, not for profit. So if there's no reason to do it, to not try to obtain a profit, then guess what? Your affordability is going to be better. All right? Instead of health insurance and prescriptions all being for-profit organizations, they're just controlled by the government. The government has no reason to make any extra money on you. That's why we pay taxes. They're cool with just collecting taxes. And then they can lower our cost on electricity, gas, healthcare, like food, everything, housing. Like, so we already have socialist principles in America. And that, I don't know why these people have been able to trick the general masses into believing that we have zero socialized programs. Public schools. You can send your kids to a school from kindergarten to 12th grade, and it doesn't cost you anything. You're like, oh, well, I pay taxes. Exactly. That's what a socialized program is. You're paying taxes, and the government is providing you a service. So, is our public school program perfect in the United States? No, because the Republicans constantly want to defund it, and they want to put everybody in private schools and make you pay for an education from the time you're in kindergarten, which is completely ridiculous. So, our fire department. Do you pay the fire department? Does the fire department collect a profit? No. They're just funded by your tax money. And if you have a fire, they show up and put it out. Obviously, the fire department's much more important in some areas than others. But again, the police force, the military, our airports, all of these things are already funded by the government. Do any of them work perfectly? No. Because the Republicans have got you to focus on just the stupidest bull crap so that you are willing to give them your money. And what do I mean by giving them your money? Here is our federal distribution. Okay, this is from the Federal Reserve.gov. So this is straight, this is as US as it could be, and Trump's the one in office. So if these numbers were ever going to be rigged, it would be now, all right? So basically what happened was Reagan, if you look at, these are the tax years, 1930 to 2010. And these were the tax rates for the highest bracket in America. So they were at 70%, and then all of a sudden we decided to drop them and drop them and drop them and drop them, and then boom, our lowest point was in 1929. What happened in 1929? The Great Depression. So we went in 10 years dropping our tax rate by 50%, and it led to the Great Depression. This is facts. You can go look it up. This is the stlouisfed.org. I mean, these are just facts. We dropped the tax rate on the richest people. Boom, hit a Great Depression. So then we come out of it, and we get our taxes all the way up to where they're paying 94% in 1944. All right, at the peak of the end of World War II, when the country's doing amazing, the top bracket was paying 94%. All right? So then we're just chilling for a while, doing our booming and busting. They're still at 70% through the 70s. And then this Reagan comes in. All right? And Reagan drops them down to 28%. And we have not been able to get any ground since then. Since the 80s, Reagan drops them. Immediately, 19%. Then he drops him another 12%. Then right before he leaves office, he drops him to 28%. So he goes in 10 years from 69 to 28%. So he went 41% down. Okay? And you're saying they can't pay a higher tax? Why? Why do you believe that? They did it for most of the history of America. Most of the history of income taxes in America, the wealthiest have paid more. So why are you defending their ability to pay now? It's not helping you, bro. You're not a capitalist. You do not own the means of production and operate them for a profit. You're an employee. So here, let's go to the Federal Reserve. All right, right here. This is the Federal Reserve.gov wealth by wealth percentile group. All right, so if you look right here on the display, I got the top 0.1% clicked off, and I got the bottom 50%. So in 1990, the top 0.1%, so that 1/1000th of the people made 1.76 trillion, and the bottom 50%, 50% combined made 0.72. All right, now you just look what's happened. Look what's happened. Look what's happened. Now in 2025, so they were about 2-to-1 ratio right here in 1990. All right, a little more than 2-to-1, which is still way too effing much, but whatever, you know. It was about 2.5-to-1. Now, the top 0.1% make 23.33 trillion. The bottom 50% make 4.2. So now they're about 5.5, 6 times as much as 50% of the population. So the people that are actual capitalists, that do own the means of production and operate them for profit, they're making 6 times more money. The top 0.1%. Not even, this isn't the top 1%. You want to add the top 1%? Look, 99 to 99.99. This is, now look how terrible this effing chart looks. All right? Now look how bad it looks. They're dominating you. So if you're just an employee, stop fighting for capitalism. It's not helping you. All right? Like this effing guy, Elon Musk, $488 billion. I'm going to just write this out. $488 billion. That's how much $488 billion is. All right? Like, that's how many zeros. And you make, divided by, we'll just do it right here, divided by $60,000 a year. So he's worth 8,133,333 times you. But he can't pay higher taxes. And you defend him from paying higher taxes so that you could pay higher health care. You could pay higher energy cost. You could pay higher food prices so that this bastard can be worth 8,133,333 times as much as you. You're making that $60,000 job. Oh, cool. You got a 401k? Well, guess what? You know what Social Security is? Oh, yeah, guess what? It's a social program, it's a socialist program. They keep your money and then they pay you retirees. Social Security is U.S. federal program administered by the Social Security Administration. It provides financial support to retirees, the disabled, and survivors of deceased workers. You're like, well, it's underfunded because the Republicans want you to be poor. I'm not saying Democrats are perfect. There's so many effing idiots in the Democratic Party, and they just ended the shutdown when they actually had some kind of real power. But I mean, it's like choosing one party that wants to eliminate your purpose for living, but allows you to say retard, or choosing a party that like is trying to fight for you. And if they could ever get enough votes to really do some change and they didn't have to fight the Republicans for every stretch, because all the Republicans do is just put money into elections. Elon Musk, 2024 election spending. So Elon Musk spent over $290 million to get Donald Trump elected. Do you think he did that just to be a nice guy? So with Social Security, part of the problem why it's not funded all the way is because the Republicans said this in. Whereas in 2025, if you make 176,100, you'd no longer have to add to the Social Security. Why? Because Elon Musk is gonna go broke with his $488 billion. Like 176,000 is the cutoff. I'm a CPA, okay, so I've done probably 1,000 tax returns in my life. The wealthiest always collect their Social Security. The whole reason for this is saying, oh well, they're not gonna use the Social Security system because they're high earners. It's complete BS. They always collect Social Security. Like, oh well, they're entitled to it. Why do you defend these wealthy people? What are they doing for you? They well, oh, because you have a job. If in a socialist, guess what? Firemen have jobs. Police officers have jobs. Teachers don't have jobs. Oh, teachers don't make enough money because Republicans don't want them to make money. They want you to pay for education. They want a private education system. Like, wake up. Wake up. This isn't even about getting woke. This is just waking up. Like, Jesus. It's all right there. I'm Jason Miller. This is Government Explained to Dummies. Socialism. I haven't came up with a name yet. I'll figure something out. But right now it's just me ranting. Thanks for watching.